So I'm going to talk a lot about credit cards, but by no means I am recommending you should get a credit card. I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I do know a few things about credit cards, and that's why I want to share my experience. That if you do want to get one credit card, that's fine, but use that for emergency purposes only. And if you do get in the habit of purchasing or spending things online, then it will increase exponentially probably, and then you will have a lot of debts, and that will stand right in the middle of you wanting to be rich. So that's it. I'm sure most of you know about credit cards, but I'm going to explain it in a few words just for the heck of it. So, what are credit cards? So, credit cards are a product or a service provided by the bank if you have a regular income on a monthly basis. So, if you earn, let's say, 50,000 rupees a month, then the bank will give you a credit card saying that you can spend up to 1 lakh rupees and you have to pay the amount you have spent before a certain time. So, that's how a credit card works. And the more your income, the more credit limit the bank will provide for you to spend it. Another important point is that even if you have a credit card with a lower limit, let's say 20,000 rupees, if you use your card a lot more, then the bank will increase your limit, and it will keep on increasing if you keep on spending and keep on paying it back. If you do not pay it, that's a different question. And this topic is really important for today's generation because we have a lot of online spendings going on, and if you want to be smart about it, if you want to save a lot of money, then it's very important to know how it works. So why do banks offer you credit card? In simple words, banks give you credit cards so that you can spend the money which you don't have, and eventually they are going to earn an interest in any form. So what will happen is, I'll tell you my experience. I mean, I will always look at Amazon looking for products, and if I see something expensive and I can't pay it in one go, then I will think, okay, I have a credit card and I can just split the money between 6 months and 12 months and then I'm good to go. And that's exactly what banks want you to do. And if you use your credit card enough times and if you keep it active for 1 year or so, then it will automatically provide you, instant loan or, big loan or loan above credit card, something like that. And we are all working individuals, right? Or we have some responsibility to take care of. And oftentimes we fall for these schemes and we end up paying interest amount. It is sometimes very useful to have these options, but what the banks try to do is they want to capitalize on the human behavior, right? So if you are going around your day and if you need a loan, then you know that you have an option to take a loan on the credit card, right? And if you do it once, you can do it again. And they don't just want you to ask for a loan or avail the loan scheme that they are providing. They want you to continuously spend your money, right, which you have not earned. So they want you to purchase big items and you can then pay it in installments, and that's the main idea behind it. I have at the moment 15 or 16 credit cards, maybe 20. So I know a lot about these offers, and there are a lot of benefits of using credit card as well. So we will talk about it, but first I want to tell you how it generally works. So if you get a credit card and if you have a certain amount of limit on the credit card, then what the bank advertise is you can spend some money from your card, and minimum you get a 20-day period interest free, and the maximum you get 50-day interest free, right? So you have to be very careful about when you are spending from a particular credit card. So after the statement has been generated for a particular credit card, you get 20 days to pay it off. So let's say the statement generation date is the first of the month. On the first of the month, the statement gets generated and you get the statement in an email saying, okay, you have spent this much of money and you have to pay this money in the next 20 days. That's how it generally happens. When you are spending money from your credit card, you have to be very careful. You don't want to spend money just before the statement gets generated. So in our case, it was first of the month. So you don't want to spend money on 29th or 30th of the month because you'll only get 20 to 22, 24 days to pay. What you want to do is you'll have to spend money after the first of the month or after the statement has been generated. In that case, you get the complete month and the 20 days from the next month. So you get approximately 50 days. But the most important thing you have to remember is you have to pay the debts on time. That's the most important rule. Okay, and now when you get the statement, you will have two amounts to pay. The first amount is the total amount due, and another amount is a minimum amount due. So what you want to do is pay the total amount. If you don't pay the total amount, interest and finance charges will incur on your expenses. So you have to be very careful about it. But I do have to mention that I love credit cards. Otherwise, I will not own 15 or 16 of them. The most important benefit, I will say, is the discounts that you get online, specifically during the holidays or the festive season. So I have, just for example, I have two tablets. I bought one for 37,000 rupees, and last year when I saw the festive discount going on, I saw the same tablet going on sale for 24,000, and this was right after the discount because I was using SBI credit card to pay it off. And on Samsung products you get a huge discount, specifically during the season sale or festive season. So yeah, I will highly recommend it if you can manage it. I mean, we have some things to take care of. We will talk about it in the video later. So I think I forgot to mention about the types of credit card. When I say types, I mean free versus the one you pay a nominal fees. So in most cases you will get a free card. For premium cards you have to pay some money, but even in that case you get some kind of voucher to compensate for the fees that you've paid, but you'll still should go for the lifetime free credit card. So a lot of people can benefit from credit cards. So if you're traveling a lot, you can always book your train tickets or flight tickets using credit card, and in return you get some spending points, and then again you have some discounts as well. Sometimes a bank offer you some vouchers if you spend some money, like 10,000 in a month or something like that. So that's always a good option. Now we will go through all the cards that I own, and we will discuss the problems and benefits with each of the card. Okay, so let's start with Axis credit cards. So both Flipkart and Amazon have a dedicated cards. So for Amazon it's Amazon Pay ICICI card, and for Flipkart it's Flipkart Axis credit card. So if you use the Flipkart card on Flipkart website, you get certain discounts on certain products, not all of them. So one of the card is called Neo, and I like the look and feel of it, and after using it for 1 year I got a message that I have 3.5 lakhs of loan available and I can use it. The only part that I didn't like about it is the interest rate and the tenure of the loan. So I should have noticed it when I was applying for it, and I was in such a rush that I applied it for 4 years, which is not a good idea. The most important feature I like about Axis is that on their app you have all the options, right? You can convert it into EMIs, you can apply for loans, you can set automatic payments. We have a lot of options, and the interest rate for the cards is 18%. So it's not low actually, but it's not on the higher side. So in case of HDFC Bank you have 20%, and in case of Citibank we used to have 24%, but now it has been reduced. When I say EMI, what I mean is, let's say you spend some money and initially you were planning to pay it in one go, but for some reason you can't. Then you have an option to log in to the website or to their app, and then you can convert into EMI. And I think that's a good feature to have. And just to mention, a loan of 13.5% on credit card is not that bad. It's okay, I would say. It's even good, I would say. But the tenure is the bad part. The more time you take to repay a loan, the more amount you have to pay.
So if you are taking loan for short period, say 1 year, 13.5% is good. But if you are taking a loan for 4 or 5 years, you should try to get it for less than 11%.
So keep that in mind. Now let's talk about HDFC Bank credit card. So Axis immediately had offer for more than one card, but for HDFC Bank I had to wait for 5 or 6 years to get an additional card. And HDFC banks offer a lot of discounts on Amazon at par with SBI credit card. So if you are in the market for iPhone purchase or any product Apple, then you can get a lot of discount with HDFC Bank. One of the great things about credit card is that you can redeem your points for a voucher or for cash redemption, but I have not tried it for Axis Bank. So let me get back to you on that. So a lot of cards also talk about points that you get when you spend some money, but that is applicable on non-EMI purchases. So if you spend some money, then you get some points, but if you go further to convert that amount into EMI, the points that you get, they are reversed. But now a lot of companies are moving from this kind of system to giving you points even if you convert that amount into EMI, and HDFC Money Back card is a good example of it. So next one is SBI credit card, and I have 3 of these, and I like the lot of functionality it offers you without calling the customer care. And I'll start with the interest rate. So if you spend some money, and I have seen this a lot, so if you spend some money, then you will get option to convert the money into EMIs at a rate of 13% and sometimes even 12% I've seen. And I just go crazy when I want to convert something into EMI and I get this offer. But I've also noticed that if you spend big money, let's say 50,000 or some bigger amount, then the bank offered you 19% rate, because I think the banks know that okay, now you're stuck with me, so you have to pay a higher amount. But I've seen when I spend lower amounts, then I get the rate of 14% or 13% or something like that. And that also depends on the card that you're using. So the Simply Click card is one of the famous SBI credit cards, and if you spend money from this one, and when you accumulate points, the redemption can be done using Amazon vouchers, and that's my favorite one. But in case of other cards like Simply Save or Fashion Big Bazaar cards, you don't get the option to redeem it in the form of Amazon vouchers. So SBI credit card also has this great feature called BT, wherein if you have spent money on a different card, then you can transfer the amount to this one, and then your EMI or your amount will continue with SBI and not the other credit card. What is the advantage of this? So if let's say you are spending money on HDFC and the interest rate is higher, 20%, and let's say you want to convert it from HDFC to SBI, and then you get a 6% discount on the interest rate. So you do that using the BT feature, and now your EMIs or total amount due will be less. I also has started this new feature where they will provide you loan on the credit limit, and you don't have to call anyone. They'll send you a link if you're eligible for the offer, and you have to click on the link, and whatever limit is available on your card, you can use that limit to get the money into your bank account. And the interest rate on that was also very reasonable, I would say. So it's a good feature. So now let's talk about ICICI Bank. So I have a custom Amazon card from ICICI Bank, and they have this system that you get 5% off all your purchases as a cashback, and I think that's really good feature. And they also did this to make sure that you keep on spending, right? So if you purchase something for 1,000 rupees and then you get a cashback of 50 rupees, right, then you know that you have 50 rupees, and if you want to buy something, then you have to pay whatever the amount it is less 50 rupees, and so you'll always be spending some money. At least that's what I am doing. So and now I want to talk about interest rates on ICICI card. So if you purchase something and then later on you decided that you have to convert into EMI, then you can call them and they will convert it for 16%, and they will charge some fees like 1%. And I think this is good rate, if not great. And even you get a call a lot of times, and then you can decide. And I want to mention here, don't just say yes to them when they call you. That just tell them I'll think about it, right? And then you think about it, how good it will be or how bad it will be. So now let's talk about Citi credit cards. So I like Citi credit cards more importantly because it has a nominal fees. So all the other banks will ask you to spend 1 lakh rupees or 1.5 lakh rupees for the banks to waive off the yearly fees. But for Citi, it only is 30,000 rupees. So if you have a card and if you don't spend anything throughout the entire year, you have to pay 1,000 rupees as their fees, as the annual fees. Another good feature which I really use is their offer kind of short loan, very small loan I would say, on the credit card, right? So whenever there is an offer going on, your registered email will receive those offers that you can avail these loan facilities at this much of interest rate. And I think because I spend so much money, sometimes I will need to get amount from somewhere, and at that point in time I turn my direction to one of the cards that I have, and I find something. And this is a bad habit of mine. I will agree here. And the other thing I like about Citi is sometimes I am availing a loan, and even though I am availing a loan, there is still an offer going on, right? So kind of top up, and it is very useful for people who are in urgent needs. But in my case, I don't think I have ever felt the urgent need for some money, but it's still there, so it's a nice option to have. I want to mention, if you have a Citi credit card and if you are spending online, right, on Amazon, Flipkart or anywhere else online, the rate of interest will be 15-16%. If you spend the money first and then call the bank to convert the money, then the interest rate will be higher. But in case if you're availing the loan, right, from their website, for some small loan, then the interest rate will be 16%. Let's now talk about Indus credit card. So this card is also very nice. I would say that this card is not really popular when it comes to credit cards, but still it has a lot of good features, I would say. Sometimes the bank offer you loan that are above your credit card limit, and you have to kind of bargain how much interest rate is too much for you, or how much interest rate will be very good for you if you want to avail the loan. So that totally depends on your skill, and I would also say you have to time it when you're talking to the bank. But it's a good card, and overall when you're shopping online, you do get offers on Indus card, but not as much as HDFC and SBI. And there is no fees on the card. If there is no fees, then it's always a good option, right? You can keep the card and forget about it. So yeah. So now let's also quickly talk about Amex, American Express. So this is one of the premium cards that you can get in India, and you have to be paying fees like 2,000 rupees a year or 5,000 rupees a year, and there are even cards where you have to pay 50,000 rupees a year just to get the card, right? So I am kind of like a card enthusiast, so that's why I have this card. Initially it was, the limit was not that big, right? But as I keep spending very recently, then the limit got increased, right? But I will not recommend this card unless you don't really care for money. But one good thing I would say about American Express is that the interest rates when you buy things are, I think, 13%. That was the lowest I had seen. And also, if you spend 1 lakh rupees, or I think 1.5 lakhs, then the amount gets waived off. So if you are spending a lot of money and you want just one card, then American Express is the one you should go for. So one thing which is very common across all the credit cards is the more you spend the card, the more you involve a card in your life, right, in daily transactions or while shopping, the more offer the banks will give you. So I got the Yes Bank credit card very late. Initially the limit was fairly low, I would say, and there was no offers going on. But as I start to spend money on the card, I got new offers, and then I got loan offers, and that was also, I would say, okay rate, right? So just to give you a standard rate of interest, so for personal loans it is 10.99 or 11%, or the best you can get is probably 10.50 or 10.75. This is about personal loans, so you can take this as a reference and think about all the loans that you're getting. So that was about personal loans. But when you take loans on credit card, it's not going to go as low as 10.99. It will revolve around 15, 16, 13%.
So if I have to summarize this video in one line, you can keep as many credit cards as you want, but the thing you have to remember is get the credit cards that are free to get, and don't get in the habit of buying things on EMIs, because it will start small and then it will grow very big. And if you know what I mean, then you know, right? So avoid credit cards. You can keep it for urgent purposes, but that's it.